The remains of 30 victims of the Srebrenica genocide are being buried on the 28th anniversary of the atrocity. Thousands in Bosnia and Herzegovina are paying tribute to the dead. More than 8,300 mainly Muslim men and boys were killed by Bosnian Serb forces during the Balkans war. The remains of many victims were found later in mass graves, which were hidden to try to cover up war crimes. Well, let's bring in Aida Hadzimusic. She joins us live now from Srebrenica. Aida, why is this process of search and identification taking so long?
Well, firstly, not all victims have been found and identified. In the Srebrenica genocide, more than 8,300 men, boys, and dozens of women were killed, but thousands are still missing. While the Bosnian Serb military and army in July 1995, they killed these people, they buried them in mass graves, and it took them months to later excavate their remains and to bury them in other locations, in other sites. They were using heavy machinery and bulldozers. And this is precisely the reason why it is still very, very hard to find and identify these remains. For example, I'm standing here in the cemetery where until now thousands of victims have been buried so far, but in the vast majority of cases their skeletons are incomplete. Sometimes there is only one single bone in their coffin. For example, even the youngest victim, a boy, a 15-year-old boy who was killed in '95, who will be buried here today, his remains will be buried incomplete. He will be buried without his skull, without his hand and other parts of his body.
Aida, 28 years is a very long time to wait. Talk us through what you're now hearing there from the families.
Well, Nastasia, obviously it is very hard for the families, even almost 30 years on. Firstly, there are families who still haven't found and identified their loved ones. It is very hard for them because with time, hopes are fading. There are some families who managed to find and identify only parts of remains of their loved ones, and they still don't want to bury them because they're hoping they will find the rest of their bodies in the future. But even for the families who managed to find, identify, and bury their loved ones, who have a site to mourn them, like the one here in Srebrenica, they also feel very disappointed because the perpetrators keep denying genocide, which was ruled by the ICJ and the International Court in Hague as genocide. And also there is a genocide denial ban brought by the former High Representative of Bosnia, of the international community in Bosnia and Herzegovina, who is in charge to monitor the peace agreement. And it is illegal in the country to deny the genocide, but despite this fact, this crime is still being denied.
Aida Hadzimusic there reporting live from Srebrenica. Thank you very much, Aida.